This is Marlin Joseph. He sits in a Florida courthouse awaiting his sentence. He is convicted of fatally shooting Kadala Crowell and chasing her daughter Kyra England and killing her too. Let's listen in to some of the Judge Cheryl Caruza of the Palm Beach County Circuit Court had to say.
This process was a qualitative process and not a quantitative one. Understanding that process, this court then assigned an appropriate weight to each aggravating factor and determined they are singularly and in combination with each other more than sufficient to justify a sentence of death as to each count.
According to the court case, the murders took place at the house that both parties shared. Marlin was just released from prison 10 months prior, and he was staying with his mom, who was then dating Mrs. Crowell at the time.
A first-degree murder in this case. Having determined that the proven aggravating factors are sufficient, the court then undertook the weighting of the proven aggravating factors against the established mitigating circumstances. The court finds that as to each count of first-degree murder considered separately, the proven aggravating factors overwhelm the established mitigating circumstances. Moreover, this court recognizes it must give great weight to the jury's recommendation of death. This court wholly agrees with the jury's unanimous recommendation based on an independent review and assessment of the aggravating factors and mitigating circumstances presented. This court finds the aggravating factors heavily outweigh the mitigating circumstances and that death is the proper penalty for the first-degree premeditated murder of Kalada Crowell and for the first-degree premeditated murder of Kyra England.
Also at the house was Joseph's own daughter, who was close in age to Kyra. There seemed to be some ongoing tension between Joseph's daughter and Mrs. Crowell's Kyra, and prior to the days before the murder, Joseph was heard telling his mom the next time the girls get into it, he's going to take care of it.
The court further finds that it would impose these sentences irrespective of whether one or more of the aggravator factors were found not to have been proven or sufficient. Marlin Joseph, you have not only forfeited your right to live among us, but under the laws of the state of Florida, you have forfeited your right to live at all.
Sorry, I'm having trouble hearing.
Accordingly, it is hereby ordered and adjudged that, as to count one, for the first-degree murder of Kalada Crowell, Marlin Joseph shall be delivered into the custody of the Florida Department of Corrections at the Florida State Prison.
And that is exactly what happened on December 28, 2017. Marlin Joseph took care of the problem. After receiving another text from his daughter that the two girls got into it again, Joseph came back to the house only to find the two girls playing and the conflict had passed. But when Mrs. Crowell came back to the house, an argument broke out between her and Marlin that led to gunshots ringing from the house with a fatal shot to the head of Cromwell. After the death of her mother, Kyra fled from the house with Joseph on the trail, catching and shooting Kyra 5 times with one fatal shot to the head.
Kalada Crowell and her daughter, 11-year-old Kyra England.
He gonna pay. He did what he did. He gonna pay.
Al Blunt lives across the street.
I heard the shots. I was just getting home. Me and my wife were just coming home. We heard the shots.
And you saw Kyra out
I
there.
saw that little girl laying out there, yes.
He says Kyra's image is something he thinks about every day.
Yeah, every time I come outside, I see that spot there.
You shall be confined there until a date certain selected by the governor of the state of Florida, and on that date you shall be executed in a method provided by Florida law. You shall receive credit for 1,053 days. As to count 2, for the first-degree murder of Kyra England, Marlin Joseph shall be delivered into the custody of the Florida Department of Corrections at the Florida State Prison. You shall be confined there until a date certain selected by the governor of the state of Florida, and on that date you shall be executed in a method provided by Florida law. The sentence for count 2 shall run consecutively to the sentence pronounced for count 1, and therefore there is no credit for time served on count 2. As to count 3, for being a felon in actual possession of a firearm, Marlin Joseph shall be sentenced to a term of 15 years imprisonment in the Department of Corrections with a 3-year mandatory minimum sentence. The sentence for count 3 shall run consecutively to the sentences pronounced in counts 1 and 2. Therefore, there is no jail credit to be awarded on count 3. These sentences shall not only run consecutively to each other, but also to the sentence pronounced in case number 2014 CF 781. The court further imposes all mandatory court costs pursuant to Florida statutes, and those will be entered as a judgment against you. You are hereby notified that this sentence is subject to automatic review by the Florida Supreme Court. Counsel will be appointed by separate order to represent you for that purpose. Marlin Joseph, may God have mercy on your soul. This court is now in recess.
I can't imagine the level of fear in that child. Not only did you hear your mom get gunned down, you didn't have to run for your life, knowing that the same fate is heading your way. We see in the courtroom his mother screaming and in tears. I just want to ask the young man, was it worth it? Was it worth shooting a mother and her daughter? Was it worth you losing your life? Was it worth your mom screaming like that in the courtroom? Was it worth your daughter losing her father? Was it worth 2 other children you have losing their father? If I can ask him any question in the world, it would be, how do you have that much hate in your heart? How do you shoot a defenseless child? This story kills me and breaks my heart. And during the trial, not only did his defense state that he was not in his right mind, they also tried to go down the mental ill route when he shot both Kyra and her mom in the head. In which I am glad that the jurors and the judge looked right past and convicted Joseph to death. He was a father of 3, and he done ruined generations after generations of his actions, not thinking before he acted. I'm not gonna lie, I have no sympathy for Joseph at all. I pray for both families, and this is something that we need to change in our community. Put down the guns. This is not right. Let me know what you guys think. Thank you for watching. Look forward to seeing you guys in the next one.